Hey everyone. Well, some of you, or most of you know, I am heading on a Disney cruise tomorrow. So, right before I close all the suitcases, I just wanted to show you just real quick some of the special things that you can bring on a Disney cruise that you may not bring to Disney World. And some you can easily do both. The first thing is one of my tips and tricks is I like to take these bags. These are bags that you get from sheets and stuff like that, and comforters and such. And I use these for everything. Like I have my unmentionables in one. This I usually use for dirty laundry. And let's see what else. I have my shoes in another one. And I also have girls' bathing suits in one and our bathing suits in another one. So as you can see, you can use them for a lot of things. The other thing I like to bring, and this goes true for Disney Cruise and Disney World, are bags. And in fact, this just reminded me I needed to put trash bags in here too. I use these. These are different sized Ziploc bags that I just use for anything and everything. Like, as an example, sometimes on the last night the girls like to go and swim. But one thing that happens on a Disney cruise is if you choose to have the porters the night before take your luggage, and they take it and they'll deliver it into the port, and you'll get these pretty little tags that have different characters on them, and then you'll go to the port or when you get down into the port into customs, you'll be able to grab your bags. So the night before, you really won't have your bags. So what I do is I'll bring these, I'll put the wet bathing suits in here with the trash bags, any last minute laundry that we may have from that night before, and then put in there. And then what I do is I bring this bag, this rolling bag. I just happen to have this, but you can do a rolling suitcase or something like that. This comes with me into the port, and it leaves with me, and I keep it the night before we leave the ship. If we choose to, you can always choose to keep your suitcases with you. It's no problem, but it just adds an added convenience. And then a lot of times you'll also be able to do online check-in for your air travel if the airlines will cooperate with the cruise line. So that's one thing that you could do different for Disney Cruise versus Disney World or Land. The other thing that I like to do, I bring my cups. Now, I have 2 cups, and I'm going to be adding 3 more to this. These are like really nice cold canteens that we have as a family. Right now my girls are using them for school. My husband uses it for work, but tonight I'll throw them in that same bag. And these are 2 special ones. This one, as you can see, it says Disney Cruise Line on it. This is one that you get when you can get the drink of the day. So this is refillable, and you just hand this to them and ask for the drink of the day. They'll fill it up, and they'll even give you a brand new one, cleaned one if you need it. And then what's nice about this is it charges you like $5 for the drink of the day, or like $4.85, something like that. But you get a larger pour. So the pour for like just a regular glass, plastic glass on the cruise is, I think, a 12 ounce. Or an 8 ounce, and this is a 12 ounce, something like that. And they also have something very similar for beer as well. And it's a really nice thick glass mug. I mean, it's huge, but I don't like beer. This is just a Tervis that I got, obviously, in Castaway Cay 2 cruises ago. And they have something very similar, it's just a different color. Now, this I'll take for my coffee and such in the morning. Now, another thing that sets Disney Cruise Line apart is that they have refillable drink stations throughout. Well, on deck 11, I'm sorry. And so coffee, sodas, water, anything up there you can get for free, or it's included in your cruise rate. So I just fill this up, and it's a nice little to-go mug, and it will spill. Tervises do spill, but it does keep it nice and cold or hot, depending. And we're going out of New York tomorrow, so it's going to be a little chilly. Not bad, actually. Not bad. I'm quite excited. Okay, so that's what I have in my carry-on. The other thing I take in my carry-on is my jewelry. You should always, doesn't matter if you fly on a cruise, doesn't matter, you always should carry your jewelry with you. I have another one of those bags. I have my ears in these. Also, these happen to be autograph ears that I ordered off of Etsy, but you can also, any autograph books or anything like that, characters are all around on a Disney cruise, and you never, like, the longest you're ever going to wait is 15 minutes. So there's that. The other thing that I personally am bringing are pins, cash, gift cards. You don't use cash on the cruise line. You can use Disney gift cards though, but they don't take any cash in the stores. Everything is charged to your stateroom. You'll get it on your first cruise, you don't get it, but on your second cruise and after, you'll get a nice little lanyard that sticks with a little plastic carrying case in it that you can put your key to the world card in here. That's your room card. That's any charging, anything like that in there. And then I have my pins on there. So you just, and so you could take pins. The girls have special ones that friends of ours gave us that are Mickey characters, but you don't have to. Those are nice to have, but just so you know, if it's your very first cruise, you might want to look into getting some kind of cheap little lanyard. I tend to give them to my clients as gifts if it is their first cruise. As you can tell, we also bring our pins because they do have pin trading on board. There's like one night that's a really fun event with pin trading. They also have books in the stores as well, but this is just, there's, it's called Officer Pin Trading, and so all the officers come down, and it's a lot of fun. The other thing that, of course, I don't have the suitcase right by me to show you my other stuff. So this is, again, one of those extra little bags, and I just have all our aloe is in there, bug spray, Vaseline, Shout, Sea-Bands, extra tissues. They do tissues in the ship, but I just like to bring little Kleenex ones, a little softer. Band-Aids and just extra little incidentals. The other thing I like to bring that are my pods for my washing machine, because they do have washing machines and dryers on board, but I like to bring my own pods, my own dryer sheets, so that way it's like one less thing I have to spend when I do laundry. I don't always do it. They also have dry cleaning on board, which I may have to use this trip. I haven't had to use it yet, but I've heard it's very, very good and fairly reasonable for it being on a cruise. Ears, extra bag. Oh, the other thing you want to bring, obviously, I have one of these little bags. I have all my sunblock in here. And then once it's after your first cruise and beyond, you'll get special little gifts in your stateroom. They're usually a bag of some sort. So I have, it's hidden underneath. So I have other bags that I use for Castaway Cay. So it's very important for Castaway Cay sailings. You can also bring, don't forget your hats and stuff like that. You can also bring water wings if you want, if your child feels a little bit more safer with water wings, but they also do provide life jackets on board, so you don't have to, it's not something you have to pack. We just get the inflatable ones, so they are really easy to pack. Hats are another thing that you can do that you should probably bring for a cruise. The other thing that really sets apart Disney Cruise Line from other lines, there's so many, but the other thing is a pirate night. Now, over in my girl's suitcase, I already have their pirate night stuff packed away, but all I did was take a white t-shirt, kind of cut it up to make it look raggedy. I made a little sash to tie, a little red sparkly sash to tie around their waist, black leggings, and boots, and you have a pirate costume. You can even buy earrings or medallions. You can do your own makeup, tattoos, whatever, but that's a very inexpensive way to do a pirate costume without going all out. This cruise is even more different than other cruises because it's a Halloween on the high seas. So I also have their, and we're having to be on the ship during Halloween. So I also have their Halloween costumes with us. The other thing is formal nights and semi-formal if you're on a 7-night or longer cruise. Some people go all out. You'll see tuxes and full-on ball gowns, and other people khaki pants and maybe a button-down. You know, whatever's your formal. They're not very strict about it. It's whatever your family feels comfortable in. So I usually bring a nice pair of slacks and a sparkly type top, and the girls will wear something a little bit nicer. Not just an everyday type dress. The other thing that you have to have for boarding on a Disney cruise are passports. Now, there is kind of this unspoken rule or guideline that says if you're going in and out of the same U.S. port, you do not have to have passports. But it's always 100% recommended. I always tell every single client it's a must, because you just never know what's going to happen. And if you get stuck in the Bahamas without a passport because somebody gets hurt or there's some other kind of emergency, it's really, really hard to get back into the States. The other thing I always suggest doing is trip insurance. A couple weeks ago, some of you may or may not know, but I was at Disney World during the hurricane. And hurricanes happen. And so does other things can happen, even on a cruise ship. You could be walking, fall down the stairs. Somebody like me, who's a klutz, would fall down the stairs and break an ankle or something. Having that trip insurance will cover all those costs. So it's something that on a cruise especially, it's really a must. You just never know. And then there's other things that could happen before your cruise that then you'll be able to cancel for if there was a medical emergency or something even before your cruise. Those are the only things I can really think of off the top of my head to bring on a Disney cruise. Bathing suits, obviously, sunblock. You really don't need to go crazy with outfits. One maybe outfit during the day. You can even sometimes carry that same outfit into the evening. The other thing is tips are include. You can include tips into the cruise fares. Disney recommends $12 per person per night. But we always bring extra cash for room service. Room service is included on a Disney cruise, but tipping is recommended. There's also certain things that, like canned sodas, are not included. They'll charge you a room for that. But we always bring a couple extra bucks. The Disney Cruise Line staff is amazing. They always go above and beyond, and they work for those tips. And a lot of times we just feel like what they do get in tips, just what Disney automatically charges, is not enough. So we will always bring a couple extra bucks, several extra dollars, to tip them on top of what they already get, because that's, they are working hard with it's crazy. It's crazy. So we always bring a couple extra dollars for that. As far as on the ship, ladies, do you bring purses, whatever? I always have a bag. It's packed away, but I have a little Le Sports sack bag that I carry. Again, we'll have autograph stuff in it. Sometimes carrying, not everybody likes to carry their key to the world card with them, on a lanyard like that. So like my husband, for instance, I'll just throw his and the girls in the bag, but it's not necessarily necessary. The other thing to make sure you have are extra chargers. Even though it's not like Disney World, you can go back to the room. It's very easy to go back to the room and charge. You really don't want to. You always want to be out there. This particular cruise that we are doing, we're also stopping at Disney World. So I have a separate bag for the parks that we will be bringing. You have to have your passport and everything on you at the time when you disembark, so you can get back on the ship, because we're coming from Bahamas to the United States. So we have to have that with us. And I think that's really about it I can think of. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll be sure to get back to you, if not right away. I will be on the high seas, so with no internet, taking a little time out. The other thing I just looked down was we also have my daughter's homework. You don't always want to bring homework with you, but there is time to do it. I think that's really about it. The first thing you do when you first get on the ship is you check in. There's people that guide you all the way through. The porters. Also money for the porters too, that help you load and unload your luggage. That's also important to have a couple bucks for them as well. But when you first get there, you're going to check in, and then they'll give you something called the navigator, with a piece of paper that will tell you everything that is happening on board the ship that night. And then each night you'll get another one. The other thing is, there's one more thing that I just thought of was, the biggest thing, download the Disney Cruise Line app. This is a huge thing. They will, this will give you a counting down to your cruise. And like now I think I'm at the hours. No longer days. Now we're just at, 000 and then hours. And the other thing it has on it is that navigator I was talking to you about. I think that they're trying to go paperless, so they really want everybody to download the app. It's really a lot of fun. I'll do another tutorial on it when I'm on the cruise to show you exactly how it works. But it's You can highlight things that you want to do, and you can set reminders. You can text people back and forth. It's a really cool app. And those features are only available once you connect to their Wi-Fi. So that is it. I will see you guys in a week. Oh, I will be checking in. I'm saying a lot. That's awful. I will be checking in at one point once we get to Disney World. So look out for that. And I hope you guys have a great magical weekend, a really fun Halloween. Eat lots and lots of candy. Don't get sick. And I will see you next Saturday.